All right, Illini football fans. A lot of Illini fans are mad that Chase Brown was not first team All Big Ten, but I'm not mad because he's not the best player in the Big Ten at the running back position. Let's be honest, he's not. He was number one in carries, number one in fumbles, and those are the two categories that he was a leader in. And you look at Mo, you look at Blake, and they are better than Chase Brown. Let's be honest. And also, Michigan's backup, Edwards, he's better than Chase Brown. I would take those three over Chase any day of the week. Chase Brown, I'll put him at my number 4. I'll do that, but he's not top 2. So look at the amount of carries, 328. Mo had 304, one less game played. Maybe if he gets a 12th game, maybe he gets the most attempts and most yards, averaging more yards per carry also, by the way. So when you look at it, him and Mo, 27 carries a game. Mo just one less game. Blake got 20, but he had a backup that was pretty good this year, Edwards. And then we look at overall yards. See, Chase is number 1, most carries. But you go to the average, and we see Edwards at 7.5 for Michigan, the backup. What a backup. And then we see the freshman Singleton with that 6.3. Penn State's got them a running back now. And then there's Blake at 5.9 and Mo at 5.2. And then Chase at 5 yards a carry. All right, rushing yards a game, Mo with 144, Chase 136, Blake 121. But Blake, his numbers suffer because Edwards, 76 yards a game, and he averaged, 7.5 yards a carry. So Michigan is loaded at running back this year, those two. Touchdowns, Mo with 19 touchdowns. He gets it in the end zone. Blake with 18 touchdowns. Mo with 13. Not Mo, I'm sorry. I already said Mo, 19. And then goes Chase with 10. That was a huge thing with Chase, the lack of touchdowns. I've been saying it all year long. The lack of touchdowns from Chase is what is really going to hurt him, and it has hurt him. The amount of carries he had, easy. Should have had 20 rushing touchdowns, but the offense for the Illini in the red zone and in short yard situations was abysmal. Their offensive line, all 5 of them made one of the all Big Ten teams, yet they were one of the worst teams in the country in the red zone in short yard situations. So he just really couldn't get off like you would think he would. And then as far as, a long run, there's that Edwards kid again, 85 yards, longest run. And then we go to Blake, 61, Mo, 54, and Chase had that 49. And Blake had more than one long run this season. You remember the highlights. Chase just had really that one long run. That's it. Pretty much his runs were usually pretty short runs. We go to the fumbles. Here's another thing that Chase really hurt himself with, 4 fumbles. So clearly the leader in that category. So the 4 fumbles, the lack of touchdowns, and the lowest yard per carry is the reason why he's not on first team All Big Ten. So now that you know that, does that make you feel better about it? Knowing he had the most fumbles, knowing that he had the less yards per carry, and also wasn't explosive in the running game. Didn't have but one run that was 49 yards, and that's pretty much it. But there's no shame in being on the second team All Big Ten. But make no mistake about it. If there was a draft, Big Ten draft, I promise you, both Michigan running backs and Mo would go before Chase Brown. I promise you they would. Chase would go number 4 at best. But even then, I would take Singleton from Penn State, the freshman. I would take him over Chase. And I'm not even joking with you. I would. Once again, if you could imagine that these other running backs had the same amount of touches. So you look at Allen and Singleton, Penn State. They were 50-50 pretty much. So you get rid of one of those guys and you let one of them rush the ball, such as Singleton. You know, what numbers does he put up? He puts up 941, and his teammate puts up 830. And that, like I said, Penn State and Michigan, they're looking real good at the running back position. Like I said, once again, we see Michigan Edwards 7.5 yards a carry. Singleton 6.3 yards a carry. His buddy Allen averages 5.3 yards a carry. So that's pretty good. Ohio State had 2 running backs that they split time with also. So, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and take Blake, Edwards, Mo, and Singleton over Chase Brown. And if I was to really dig deep and really take a look at all of them, I might even take other people before him. You know, Chase Brown, he just was a running back that you just won't remember. You know, when you think about the great running backs, you will always remember them because of what they did on the field. You know, the running backs that were known for running over people, those highlights of them just smashing people, or the highlights of those ones that had just insane juke moves, spin moves, just great moves, or the ones that had just breakaway speed. They were just so fast. Like the running backs that you remember. Chase Brown is a running back that you won't remember. He didn't have any speed. He didn't run people over. He didn't have any moves. He just was a running back that had the most carries, and that's all it was. So I was happy to have him on the team. So, like I said, he's a top 5, top 6 running back in the Big Ten. I'll close by once again repeating it. No one can convince me differently. If Edwards, Mo, Singleton, Corum, if they had the same amount of carries as Chase Brown, no one can convince me that they wouldn't have ran for over 2,000 yards and had dang near 30 touchdowns. So that's just what I'm thinking. Let me know in the comments, what are you guys' thoughts?